there have been a lot of concerns over the incoming administration's nomination of the outspoken vaccine skeptic, RFK Jr. He's supposed to be running the Health and Human Services, and it was addressed during a press conference yesterday. Take a look.
What about the polio vaccine?
Well, I'm a big believer in it, and I think everything should be looked at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine.
Do you want RFK Jr. to revoke any vaccines?
No, I want him to come back with a report as to what he thinks. We're going to find out a lot. I think you're going to find that Bobby is a very rational guy. I found him to be very rational. No, nothing, you're not going to lose the polio vaccine. That's not going to happen.
RFK Jr. also said yesterday that he, too, is all for the polio vaccine as he tries to sell his MAHA movement, the Make America Healthy Again. And it's been gaining ground with folks. But let me remind everyone that long before him, MAHA was already Michelle Makes America Healthy. Okay? That's what she was doing when she was first lady. So it's not an unknown concept.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So
now he's out there saying this. But do you actually believe anything he says? Tell the truth. I mean, they overturned Roe v. Wade. He said he wasn't going to put anybody in who back to Project 2025. A lot of people that he's put into this new administration believe that stuff. He said that grocery prices would magically come down. He already admitted that they can't very easily come down. Yeah. Remember when during COVID, he said, no masks, you don't need masks. That was also BS. He attacked Dr. Fauci, who was really trying to help everybody. Yeah. He pushed deworming medication for horses on us. And the worst, the pièce de résistance, as they say, is he sent COVID tests to Putin.
Yeah.
That really ticked me off.
When we really needed them here.
But when we needed them here. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you actually believe this man? No.
So I'm no RFK fan. I don't like the vaccine skepticism that he's pushed, but I keep being surprised by how many girlfriends of mine I talk to are kind of interested in what he's saying, not at all on vaccines, but on food in America. Yeah. And what they point to, and we've all said this,
we know
those of us who've gotten to travel, you go to Europe, you eat the same food, it doesn't have the same additives, preservatives, oils, sugars that we have here. We have a system where people are just creating food and selling it to us and marketing to us that's so bad for our bodies. If he could narrowly focus on trying to have access to healthier, better quality food, which is part of preventative care.
Can I interrupt you? If you have the healthiest food and you haven't gotten the polio vaccine, you will still get it.
Starting to realize, we just watched a clip of Trump saying they're not going to get rid of the vaccine. They're being rational. We're just going to look into vaccines because there has been a lot of speculation that vaccines have caused a lot of the medical conditions that children are being more diagnosed with now in this day and age. So if they're just going to inspect that and find a way to improve the vaccines to stop these things happening, I don't see the problem. Nowhere did I hear him say, we're going to get rid of the vaccines. He said, we're going to look into them and report the findings. And like Miss DEI Republican is saying, I forget her name, Anna? Alyssa, that's what it is. She is over here talking about, he's trying to make more healthier options, which I've heard him propose multiple times. Get rid of high fructose corn syrup, et cetera, and other things and have more healthy alternatives in our foods. But I'm just starting to realize they don't give a damn what was said. They just want to complain. They just a bunch of women on here looking for shit to complain about. That's all they damn do. Just complain. Hoot and holler, complain.
How close-minded do you have to be for someone to try to help you and you say that what they're trying to do is bad?
That is crazy. I'm trying to make y'all be healthier as a nation.
Well, if we remember the last episode that we reacted to, they said that it was fat phobic for someone to say that diet and exercise are a way to get rid of being fat instead of Ozempic. So with that being said, and like Taj always says, I'm starting to be Taj now. This is the same people who think a woman could be a man and a man could be a woman, literally. So there's no level to the delusion that they could really have.
So people haven't been skeptical of vaccines for more than 20 years now. I remember my parents didn't want me to get a flu shot. Yeah. Every shot, parents are skeptical about.
Yeah.
So I don't see the problem here. Like, that's crazy to me, man.
But they just want to sit here and complain, bro. That's just, they don't want to look at the rationality in anything. They just want to sit here and hoot and holler and complain.
Exactly, because
But he's also proposing various
and he
pullbacks
should leave
on
vaccines to medical doctors and scientists. But
Absolutely.
if he wants to narrowly have a focus on food in this country, it's an issue that resonates and it spans political lines.
And on that, and because one of the things that will help that is when you deregulate things.
Yes.
That's what gets stuff put in food.
Yeah.
That's what gets stuff poured in the water.
That's right.
You must, and you're absolutely right, Alyssa, when you say, narrow it down. Let's find out, because it is because of deregulation they can put Manzas-hiki makasakasaki
things you can't read in the labels.
your food. And if you can't read it, you should not be eating it.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Well, the food part is really bad. The food industry needs to be completely overhauled. Right now, U.S. medical schools, and you know how long doctors go to school, they require less than 20 hours of nutritional education. Food should be the basis and foundational level of all medicine, and some cultures do that.
But it doesn't have to be RFK Jr. Who does it?
No one's saying that part.
We're just in a way that appeals to people, like what's resonating.
I understand that food is important, but I think in terms of medical school, I mean, I think we want our doctors to understand the systems of our bodies, and I think we want our doctors to understand the history of medicine and a lot more. And what's really interesting is that, RFK Jr. doesn't have a medical degree. He knows not much about medicine. And what scares me, to your point, Joy, when people tell me what they're saying the first time, I believe them, like Dr. Maya Angelou told me to. And this guy, RFK Jr., has made it very clear that he is a vaccine skeptic. And what we have to remember is it's not going to be a narrow position. If you are the head of the Department of Health and Human Services, that's a very big, broad position, not a narrow position. They're not going to just put him in charge of food. They're going to put him in charge of everything. And what he just refused to answer in terms of some questions for CNN is he refused to answer about whether he stands by his previous comments tying vaccines to autism. That's all you need to know about him. He refused to answer the questions. And the other thing he said was he plans to question the entire science of vaccines. We know that vaccines work. We know that vaccines save lives. We know that our children
Let me just jump in on one thing, Sonny, because I understand what you're saying
Hold on. So they think if people don't take the vaccine, we just gonna all turn into zombies one day.
Well, there are necessary vaccines. I think they're just calling into question some of the stuff that's put in vaccines that's causing a lot of health problems that we've been seeing. Like, this is a conspiracy theory that I've been seeing purported around, but they're saying the rise in conditions like autism being diagnosed in children is linked back to a lot of the things they're putting in vaccines. So
no, that's not a conspiracy. There's several studies that have
so they're just trying to prevent
for
that.
years. I heard about that years.
And I've seen Candace Owens and a lot of other people who have called into question a lot of these vaccines. So what they're proposing to do is to look into some of the stuff that's put in the vaccines that's causing these health conditions in children, because I've seen that a lot of the stuff that's put in vaccine is way too high of dosage to give to children and babies and newborn babies, which is why we're seeing these health conditions being developed, these mental conditions and other things of that sort. Now, again, that's a theory, and what they're doing here is just hooting and hollering. Like, they're talking about he could have, should have, would have. They're always talking about what could happen or what might happen or what possibly could happen. But what they're doing is doing a bunch of crazy conspiracies and theories and fears and nonsense and complaining and hooting and hollering about some shit that hasn't even happened.
Yeah, these bitches are brainless.
Listen, none of this has happened yet. So I'm not finna sit here and listen to a bunch of experts, a bunch of nagging women complain about what could happen when nothing has happened yet.
Yeah, think about this though. Maybe RFK is just the head leader of this operation. Who said he's going to be the main effing doctor on the job?
Yeah,
he could just be in the lab. Hey, what's going on? What you come up? Whatever scenario it is.
I think that what is more so a thing that RFK is, he's just the head guy. So basically, he's already questioning a lot of these things that's going on. So the fact that he's skeptical would mean he could put people in position to figure out why they have skepticism, or prove the skepticism wrong or prove it right. He could put the right people in position. Because if you have a guy that just blindly buys into all of the stuff, well, maybe he's going to take some money and let the drug companies push BS in the sake of money. No, we have a guy who actually wants to make things healthier, and he can put the right people in position to do so.
Let's continue. These ladies are actually brainless. It has been people, doctors in different countries, that has been sent to prison, that has been brought on the stand almost to go to jail because of the vaccine in certain situations. So if you guys are seeing that, if people are seeing that, Americans are seeing that, and they're just skeptical about vaccines, they have all right to be, because people are being charged for this. They're being brought on the stand for this. So people are just skeptical. All they're doing is putting RFK in that position because that people believe that he really cares about health in this country. So we're just gonna put somebody in position that we know that cares. They obviously don't think the left cares. That's simply what it is.
Yeah.
One last thing. Sunny said that she doesn't think it's important for doctors to study nutrition. After old girl just said that that's important, I think everyone would also agree that that's important. How are you going to say?
She said that?
Yes,
I would agree that's important.
I think they should be learning about the history of science and da-da-da. She said that. We just watched it. So I'm like, damn. She just made the point that doctors and things like that should be more educated on food, and we should rely more on food like a lot of other countries do. You know, America is the fattest country, and we got Ozempic, and we're still the fattest country. So maybe diet and exercise, but like I said, not with that. So I mean, the fact that she said that is crazy to me, bro.
To that point, Ozempic was actually started as a diabetes medicine. It's just been taken over as a weight loss drug, but its original use was to help people suffering from diabetes, to help their diabetes become more manageable. Also, my dad is a professor in the Health and Human Science Department at Oklahoma State, and he studies nutrition. So I think that's pretty freaking important.
Yeah, these people are. You can give them Exhibit A, Exhibit Z, and it could be a bunch of reasons why this needs to be looked at.
Listen, the only thing I've come to realize is they want to sit here and hoot and holler and nag about what could go wrong rather than focus about what could go right. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here as grown adults, critical thinkers, and sit here and talk about some coulda, shoulda, woulda happened crap. None of it has happened. All I've seen is the proper team being put in place to fill campaign promises. And until things start getting in motion, I'm not going to sit here and hoot and holler. I'm just trying to see, is he putting the right people in place? So far, I haven't seen nothing I don't like. I'm not going to sit here and talk about what coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Because this is what the people want.
That's not what adults do.
The people love RFK. Have y'all seen his engagements on any social media platform? People love him. They trust him. That's why he's in that position.
About Western medicine, but there are Eastern traditions that are thousands of years old. I have a Chinese Western trained doctor who has pointed out where the Western medicine gets it wrong.
Right.
We live in a country where we are crap is put in our food that makes us sick, and then pharmaceuticals come in and throw pills at it. So we're living in a cycle where it feeds the corporate greed to keep us not well.
I'm not against Eastern medicine, but I've been married to a Western medicine doctor for 26 years, and I trust him over anybody else telling me that what's making people have certain ailments, or if I need a knee replacement, I should just put maybe some kind of like herbal patch on it.
No, but even so, with the RFK, like he's gonna come up against the state-of-the-art best doctors in America. Many of them are careers at HHS. That's somewhere that Dr. Fauci served for many years.
Has a real medical
he's
degree.
going to get pushed back on this. This idea that he's going to come in with no medical degree and just take vaccines off the shelf. There are experts there who are going to challenge him on
here's
those
the
things.
thing.
And that's a healthy debate to have.
But it's all connected, right? Because again, deregulation and lobbyists. When you have lobbyists who are doing, so there are lots of things that we can get done. And, you know, as it turns out, not everybody believes one thing. So there are Democrats who have Republican thoughts about things as well. There's a mixture that people don't talk about. Yeah, we all are thinking, how can we make it better? One of the ways is stop trying to deregulate things, because people, if you don't give them parameters, they won't do what you ask them to do.
Yes.
That's how we got women into colleges. We said you have to take a certain amount of women. You got to put them in. They said, oh yeah, we will, and then they didn't do it. And then they said, okay, you got to do it. Women started getting into colleges.
Can I say one thing? Compare ketchup in Europe to ketchup here. What is in our ketchup? It is night and day.
But
it's not even
Thank you.
No matter where.
See, she's the only one that's rational. She's the only one being rational.
We'll be right back.
You know, she is the only one.
Alyssa was the only one being rational. She talked about, look, he's in position. He's actually caring about things. He's trying to make things healthy. And just because he's in position to do that doesn't mean that he's just going to have free will. But they up there acting like, shut the fuck up, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Women having the right to vote to this.
What college?
What type of reach?
Man,
how are these in the same sentence?
They act like they all so smart. Joy Behar was a comedian. I don't know how the hell, because she not funny. She was an actress. I don't know what them other ones do. It's only like 2 of them that went to college, and they up here talk like they just the smartest freaking people in the world.
I remember our coach said the smartest thing ever when the vaccines came out. He said, it only been 6 months. How they have a cure for it already?
And he didn't take it.
I thought about
I was with him in the morning, every morning, 6 a.m. because we did not take it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
To take it.
Louisiana, when I got to Louisiana, that was the most skeptical response I've seen to people taking vaccines. When I was in Kansas, everybody was blindly laying down taking that shit. But when I got to Louisiana, I remember people was like, why would you get that? They're like, boy, you got that vaccine, boy?
He said, vaccine? They ain't been out for 6 months.
All right, guys, this is what the people wanted. They wanted RFK. These libs are melting down. They're going to continue to melt down, guys. I think that they're just putting people, real life, people that care about America in situations, in positions to help Americans. Simple as that. We're out of here, guys.